See, even along with this humidity, I get really bad allergies. Like just the invisible shit in the air, and I'm just like, my face is just melting out of every fucking orifice. Oh, I can't. Like a fucking coke. Sniffing constantly.
I've definitely been a bit more stuffy the last few days.
Yeah, I don't think it's not so much pollen, because pollen would be more summery, right? It's more like fine grass in the air.
I mean, I don't have like hay fever diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I've got some kind of seasonal allergy on a not a major level. It's pretty mild, but I'm sure there's something.
Man, I remember as a kid when someone having hay fever used to be like, you got a hay fever, what a loser. It's like, can't fucking help. Or like, it's sort of in the same sort of category as asthma. You know, like, those kids got asthma, wears glasses, and then when you become an adult, you're like, yeah, that's quite a serious matter. Are you okay? Are you good? Are you okay?
I definitely need my eyes testing at some point as well. I think I feel like that's the next thing to go.
You do realise your computer screen is behind you. You're not actually looking at your computer screen. You're just looking at a wall. And now back to the wall.
Full on Mr. McGee.
And now back to the Dreadcast.
Which camera am I on?
Hey, look, if we were one of the new modern fandangled professional podcasts, we would both have Rode mics on little stands. We'd both have a couch each, like that, like just at an angle. We'd be in a room with our logo in a neon like LED sign above us. We'd have a camera pointed at you, a camera pointed at me, and a camera pointed at all of us. And we'd have an editor that would do TikTok clips of us or That is every single modern podcast now I've seen.
Producer would bring them in as like, you know, occasional third character. What are your thoughts? Bring them in. Yeah.
They're all sat like this, like on their couch, like, like, no. It's better to do it from the comfort of your own dingy little room.
That's it. That's it. Plus, it'd be like a 300-mile-hour round trip for one of us every week. I think.
Every week, I've gotta go to the studio. Got to go to the studio every week for something we don't make money on.
Yeah, we'd have to get something sort of halfway, like, I don't know, Birmingham. Around Birmingham. Yeah. It's just another reason. We'll keep doing it the way we're doing it.
Yeah. Yay for the internet. Yay. I'm not going to introduce us as the what was the worst one? The D-cast, that's it. We're not the D-cast.
Yeah,
we never will be the D. This is the Dreadcast. No, that wasn't
How are you
good.
doing, guys?
How are you doing? It's the Dreadcast. Welcome back, horror fans. Whoop whoop. Yes, welcome back. It's myself, Tom, and the lovely Aidan. And we're back on form. Saying that, still touching wood, still fingers crossed, everything that this doesn't break. I think the Antrim curse has lifted.
Abated. Don't mention it again, though.
But I love Antrim.
Yes, we love Antrim.
We love Antrim, and we wholeheartedly support any more content produced regarding the film Antrim.
Yeah.
All praise Antrim. Oh, praise. All right. You try with your praise Antrim. Yes. No, it's not Antrim. This is episode 48.
Oh, my God. 48.
I was only getting confused because of the fact we obviously missed Frankenstein.
We did. I started making a list to remind myself, and I've lost the list. So.
Oh, no, that doesn't help, does it? That's like my birthday list of friends that I can't remember their birthdays.
Start a new list. I need to find some.
It is episode 48 because Frankenstein shit the bed, and will be coming later this month with our the Monsters of Universal Part 3, including the Mummy and anything related to Boris Karloff. Basically, that is the Boris Karloff episode. As of today, before we'll get into it, we will be talking about 1995 mid-90s absolute greatness. This is a peak 10 o'clock on ITV film, because I think that's where I first saw it. Species, But before we do that, for the video, the visual
people.
viewers, do you have some goodness to show?
I do have a little bit of goodness to show. So we talked a little bit about my recent pickups last time, and yeah, I've actually brought them into
the collection.
The collection. So I mentioned the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So we got a bunch of Texas Chainsaw goodness.
We do love that here.
Fantastic. Everything's going to be all reversed, but this fantastic steelbook, which is I'm really tempted to just start getting every format of TCM1 that I can find now. And then we've got number 2.
That is a
glorious.
Show that again. Show that again. As good as as much as I really love that, I think it's too much of a, in a way, spoiler.
The cover, yeah, they could have gone with just a, I don't know, generic.
For the audio listeners, we're talking about DCM2 cover where
some more artwork.
Dennis Hopper is dual wielding chainsaws,
yeah.
which happens, I guess. Well, he goes shopping for them about halfway, but he really comes equipped from halfway onwards.
Yeah, he does. Then we got a bunch of the TCM remakes.
Yeah, we got
2
universes there.
Yeah, they're not the a mixed bag. Although Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2003 and the beginning I do really like, but yeah, the 2013 one, not so much.
Oh no.
Completionist. We want all of them. The Slumber Party Massacre, which I managed to get horrible CEX stickers off. And then a bunch of these. So these are the most recent ones. OG Halloween.
Oh, I've got that. I've got that Blu-ray Halloween. Yeah.
OG Poltergeist. So they were just a couple of quid each. I thought it'd be a shame to leave them.
But
leave them behind.
So you're going. Say for instance the TCM series. You're going for each variation. Each DVD, Blu-ray, whatnot.
For TCM1, I'm not going to do it for the entire series, but yeah.
But you also did discover you have the ability to play 4Ks, right?
Yes.
So for other horror films, will you be looking at 4Ks?
Oh yeah, I'll get some. I'm gonna get.
They're
some
just
4Ks.
a bit more expensive.
I'll see. So I think that's. For the now. I think the 4K ones will be my top tier must watch kind of films. Black Death with Scene Bean.
We talked about that.
Well, yeah, and then as if by magic, it appeared. And it was only £1, so I'm not leaving it for £1. I have seen it, but I can't remember anything about it.
Does he die?
I'm just going to say yeah, because it's Sean Bean. I honestly can't remember. I've no idea. But yeah, medieval fantasy horror.
Yeah.
I think it's more of an action fantasy than a horror, straight up. But I couldn't leave it behind. And then a couple of box sets.
Yep.
The House movies.
Oh yes, I love that artwork. That artwork is so good. With the hand.
That's definitely an image I remember seeing from the video store back in the video shop back in the days. Yeah. The House poster. I think what's that about? And then another one that I just couldn't resist. Critters. The lovable little critters, 1 to 4.
I think a lot of people compare them to Gremlins too much.
No, it's because it's little puppet monsters, isn't it?
Exactly,
really, I suppose. I mean, I watched Ghoulies.
Oh yeah, the Ghoulies, yeah.
I watched Ghoulies the other night, and it's not what I expected at all.
Coming from the toilet.
Yeah, but there's a lot more human devil worship stuff than little rubber puppets running around. It was one that I've been meaning to watch for a while. I was like, oh, you know what? Now's the time. I'll stick it on. And there's a lot more. The story wasn't what I expected at all.
I've got Ghoulies on video.
Got it on video.
Yeah.
And then the scariest movies in the collection. The 2 Sex and the City movies.
Get away.
Which
Antrim
for my girlfriend.
Oh, Antrim, come back, Antrim. Curse this. Look, we talked about this off camera. It's not a bad show.
No, back in the day, we guaranteed to see a bit of bit of boobs.
Bit of boob.
I'll be honest, that's one of the main reasons why I watched it back in the day. But,
welcome to our misogynistic podcast.
Hey, I do not apologise for being a teenage.
No, I don't either.
A teenage boy with no internet or in the pre-internet days.
Not even any jazz mags.
You took what you could get.
on your shitty TV that you had. Oh, the signal's going. I got to fuck with the aerial. I'm getting static. I've got the boobs going.
Oh God, yeah. Do you remember those days as well?
I do.
Portable TV aerials, man.
Yeah,
that was something.
It's good there. The boob's good. There it is. That's quite a shopping spree, and I look forward to being able to do that come September onwards.
It was over a few. That wasn't all one trip. That's like a couple of weeks, I think. But yeah, I've just been around a lot of like secondhand shops and movie stores just recently. There is one more thing though. Don't know. You know I love my folk horror, right?
I've heard it bandied about somewhere. Yeah.
Well, there is a little company called Weird Walk, who essentially are. It's about walking. It's a walking group, but they produce a little zine, a little fanzine magazine.
That couldn't look more folk horror-esque.
It focuses a lot more on that sort of weird side. So they've got. So like the folklore of areas as well as there's lots of stuff about Stonehenge and Avebury and stone circles and dungeon synth or whatever that is, some sort of musical thing. But they've recently done a Wicker Man like special issue. So I think they took a trip to where they filmed a bunch of the Wicker Man stuff. Look, there's even a little Wicker crossword word search puzzle. And also they produced these stickers which were absolutely fantastic and I couldn't resist purchasing.
I was wondering where you got that from. I saw that
Lord
on your
Summerisle
Instagram.
influencer sticker. I'm gonna have to reverse my camera, I think.
No, you're fine. You're good. You're good.
Oh,
it's all legible.
To me.
Yeah.
That's
all
cool.
legible.
Yeah, I understand how technology works. So yeah, I could not.
That's beautiful.
I could not resist that at all. It was great. So I've got a couple of them. There's one in yellow as well.
Did we ever talk about? When you showed me that circle, that little sort of like Stonehenge looking circle they've got in the Wicker. Did we ever talk about that? Because I never really thought about it until now. You always think about Stonehenge. How did they do it? How is it possible?
Yeah,
that stone circle was even quite impressive as well in the film, and
it is. I'm not sure if that's genuine though. Whether I think it might.
Is it made up
for the movie? Yeah,
right,
I'm not entirely. I'll have to look it up. I'm not sure.
Be interesting.
But yeah. Oh well, the Summerisle. There is actually an article about it in the zine.
Well,
the Summerisle Stone Owl.
Well, if you'd have read about it, we'd know.
Yeah. Well, they only arrived yesterday. I've not had a chance to read it yet. But yeah, Weird Walk. If you like weird folklory stuff, give them a look because they're always posting. They've got an Instagram page and a Twitter handle and all that jazz.
But as a book, it looks really nice. Nice little quality, good collectible.
Yeah, it's nicely printed. I mean, I think they're up to. They don't have like a set publishing schedule, but I think they're up to like issue 5 or 6 now of the zine. But it's been on my radar for a while, and I was like, oh, you know what? I wanted those stickers, and if I'm putting an order in for the stickers, I'll get the first couple of issues of the book and see what it's all about. And it's cool. Yeah,
those are the sort of stickers that, because of what I do for a living, I have big, tool chests, toolboxes, and stuff on my desk. And what everyone does, you cover them in stickers. Those are the sort of stickers that would get slapped on, covered on. People go, "What is that? What's that? What's that? What's that sticker?" Everyone trying to like one up each other with cool, funky stickers.
Yeah, that's it. AliExpress is your place for that.
Oh,
or Wish or somewhere like that. I got a bunch of horror ones just recently from Wish or Ali. It was one or the other. Yeah, they all go on my paint palette and and stuff like that.
I've always think
I might just cover a door like I did back
a whole
in the day.
door,
just my bedroom door, just.
I would always.
Go right in here in my little man cavey room. I'm allowed to do spot I want in here.
You, by the looks of it, yes, and by the looks of it, yes. I always think, oh, do I want to put it on my PC? But then I think if I've got to rebuild my PC in the future, I've got to change it.
That's what. Yeah,
it's going
that's
to be
the
wasted. Yeah, it's got to be something that's going to last. You've really got to commit to stickers. You know, you've really got to commit.
Exactly. It's a bigger commitment than you might think.
So grown up, man. You know, back
I'm
in
nearly 40.
Yeah, I'm mid-30s. I'm the kid here. That is quite the haul. When you brought up CX, you reminded me, and I remember it was around the spring. Or was it last year? It was sometime in the past, sometime before today in the past, and I was looking at horror films in CX, and I remember specifically a Hellraiser film that I found on DVD, which now looks to have gone down in price, but it was Hellraiser 8 Hell World, and they had it for £15, and it was just a DVD, £15. It's now £4, but still. But as I'm looking through different Hellraisers on the CX website, they are all so different in price. Like Hellraiser 1, £2.50, Hellraiser 2, £3, Hellraiser Inferno, £4, Hellraiser Bloodline, £10. What?
That's
Why?
ridiculous.
Hellraiser Trilogy, £20.
If it's the trilogy, it's a nice box set. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Hellraiser Puzzle Box for £15. Want to open that? But yeah, the prices just there's such a variety of prices
all over the place.
Hellraiser 2022, £8. Like, why is Bloodline, which is not a great film, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I do wonder sometimes where they get stuff from.
I always wondered, do they just go on eBay and just go, if it's they just check every film's price? They have some sort of algorithm that checks every film's price there, and they try and match it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes.
That is excessive, though. I mean, famously, the later Hellraiser sequels are not very good. No,
especially the one without Doug Bradley. God. Not even sure which one that is without Doug Bradley. Was it Revelations?
I'm not sure. Really stopped paying attention after 3.
Oh, we'll get to them in the future. We'll definitely get to them because there's a lot of mileage in that series.
Yeah.
A lot of mileage. But since we talked like 10 hours ago, it may as well have been. Which I'm sure everyone by now has really enjoyed our House by the Cemetery episode because it would have come out by now, and I'm sure you all loved it. It's probably done gangbusters. It's probably done like 100 views here and there. I love you all. Thank you all for checking it out. But obviously, as you've checked it out, you may have forgotten, where you found it. You just may have, by chance, come by the podcast. Where did I find that? Oh, so you can find the Dreadcast on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Podbean, and YouTube by searching the Dreadcast, not the Dcast. That's a very different show, and you might not like it. Okay, the Dreadcast. You can find it there, and you'll be like, "Oh, that was it. That was it." I'll go back there and subscribe and follow and rate because I love their episode. So, and you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the Dreadcast. The _ Dreadcast. There we go. There we go. Right? I nearly got it wrong.
I did just plug. Just about 5 minutes before we got started, I did plug us on Twitter. I got tagged in one of those like, "What's your top 5 horror films?" and tag these 5 people. So I just posted the episode I did with my top 5 horror films.
No, you can.
So
find
hello
them.
to all you guys that have joined off the back of that Twitter post. Thank you very much for being here.
Yes. Well, hang on a minute.
Everybody in that thread is just going to go, "Oh my god."
I'm also trying to think as far as timelines here. This Twitter post happened on the 8th of July. This episode is going to come out a week after we talked.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone that did go there, in the past, and check it out. I see. That is good. There it is. I'll give that a like.
They'll listen, and everybody will think, "Oh, these guys know their onions. We're gonna follow these."
They know.
Listen to all of these episodes.
They know what they're talking. They've seen every horror film ever made. They know what they're talking about. So since we spoke a couple of days ago, nothing really horror related happened to me. Apart from, I pulled a muscle in my shoulder. That was quite horrific. Can't really go much higher than that. That was quite scary. But I guess we just get straight into talking about it.
Let's get straight into it.
There's no point wasting time. Get straight into it.
What's today's movie, Tom?
Today's movie.
What are we talking about today?
Today's movie is a film that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. It's been one of those films that I've had, like, I can describe this, screenshots of it in my head. You know, images that I just remember of the film. Look, we've already talked about Sex and the City, okay? That's our limit. And I've just been like, I really want to watch that film again. I just remember having fun. Hey, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, like, calm down, all right? Calm down.
Keep it PG.
Keep it, well, 12A is good enough. Species. The mid-90s, what I thought was alien invasion film, what I thought I remembered being an alien invasion film, which actually kind of isn't. It's kind of done in a much more interesting way, I felt.
Yeah.
1995 Species. All in all, just to put it out there right now, this is a fun film. I really enjoyed this film. I really enjoyed it, and
it's a romp.
It is a romp, and after not seeing it for probably 20 years, maybe, I wasn't bored. I would say captivated. I was glued to the film the whole time. I was entertained. I was entertained. I wasn't scared. I wouldn't call this a scary film at all.
No,
a couple of good jump scares.
More. There's a couple of decent jump scares. It's definitely more. I think it's probably leans more towards action than straight horror.
Or sci-fi action, I guess.
Sci-fi action. But there's some obvious influences from other major sci-fi horror franchises. I'll leave it up to you guys to guess just which ones. But...
Yeah. Well, the thing is, with the obvious influence, let's say the person, which we'll probably reveal soon, the person that committed these influences actually worked on Species and worked on these old films. So that being Geiger.
Yeah. H.R. Geiger being involved in this project. So there's a lot of that sort of biomechanical design. The design of the species, the creature. Syl,
yes. Which I quite like that name. It's a good name. I'm actually just looking now. I didn't actually note down if they described what Syl meant. Did you catch that?
I think the designation comes from it's like Sample 1 Laboratory or something like that. So it's S1L or Syl.
Excuse me. Right.
It's something like that. I mean, I wouldn't say that's probably not exactly right, but it's something in that, or something of that nature. So yeah, it's like a shortened version of a like laboratory serial number or something.
Yeah. When was the last time you probably watched this, or had you never seen it?
1996, maybe. I don't know. It came out in '95, so whenever it came to, like, we didn't rent it, but whenever it had been a couple of years after that when it came to TV, probably. Yeah, so later 90s, 97-ish.
I do definitely recall this being, I think, when we discussed Wishmaster, I was like, this is the film that I think of when I think of Blockbuster. The box art cover. And I vaguely remember this being another one, actually, as well, that I kind of really remember.
I remember the poster being everywhere.
Yeah. Are you talking about the one with Natasha Henstridge with like her hand up becoming a claw?
Yeah, and it's like all sort of green and the cocoon. Yeah, she's like sort of half in and out of a cocoon.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, it did 113 million at the box office.
It's
from a budget
mad,
of 35.
yeah.
It was a big movie. It's got a big cast as well. Like,
let's talk about the cast, because there are 3 Oscar winners in this cast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously future Oscar winners. Michelle Williams, Forrest Whitaker, and Ben Kingsley.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's that, like Ben Kingsley, Forrest Whitaker, Alfred Molina, Michael Madsen, Robert Patrick's in there as one of the G-men. Is that
Robert Patrick?
Is it Robert? Well, okay.
I thought it was.
I was fairly certain it was. I've not actually checked the thing. It certainly looks like him.
You mean
if not, he's got a twin brother.
One of Ben Kingsley's 2 like henchmen, 2 goons.
Yeah. He's like one or other of the G-men that's knocking around. That they get to do.
Think it really looked like him, because it
really looks like him. If it's not, then I was convinced it was. That's going to bug me now, trying to find who it was.
But I mean,
all right. Even if it doesn't have Rob Patrick, it's still a stellar cast for what it is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
What it is. Yeah,
it's a bit of a schlocky, sci-fi action.
Yeah, and now granted, obviously the actors we mentioned that were future Oscar winners, probably the biggest one at this point was Ben Kingsley, because I think he'd obviously done Gandhi at this point.
Yeah.
But they're not. They have taken like a schlocky sci-fi action film, rather than this being an Oscar bait film. It's almost like they all seem to be like. I bet they had fun doing this.
I think so.
I feel like they did. They would have had fun.
I think Michael Madsen went on record to say that he really liked it. He sort of wanted to do it because he wanted to do like an action lead sort of role. The second one, not so much. He basically has admitted that he just did that for the paycheck. But
I've never seen
the first one.
I've never seen The Second Species.
I haven't seen any of the sequels either. I'd be interested after watching this though. I'd be interested to watch the second one, because
agreed.
I think they go and do a bit of a plot shift, like the sequel bait thing that happens at the end of this one. Is like ignored for the second one. I think read from the little synopsis of it I read.
Okay.
So I'd be interested to see just sort of like how they get the story going based on.
Michael Madsen, to me, I find him a bit of an underrated actor. I actually don't. I actually quite like Michael Madsen in selected roles, but I feel like, I mean, he got a fair share in Kill Bill, but then he didn't really get too much after that from the early mid 2000s. I feel like he had a lot of personal issues and maybe substance abuse, but 90s specifically, I really do believe he was an underrated actor. I feel like he doesn't get not all the flowers, but deserves some flowers for his acting.
I think he's done a lot of like straight to video.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces, and I think to a certain degree has been typecast a little bit by these sort of gangster type roles. The chap that I thought was Rob Patrick is a guy called Don Fisher.
That's definitely not Robert Patrick.
No, it's definitely not. But he is in quite a lot. He seems to be quite a prolific character actor for appearing as henchman and that kind of thing in various things. But he did look a hell of a lot.
He really did. He really did.
I'd have sworn, I'd have put money on that it was him. But anyway, just a little side note.
Well, then we've also got a young Michelle Williams as a great kid actor, but she's credited from the start. How the credits work. Obviously, it then ends with and starring Natasha Henstridge, who is the main female lead in the film, really, other than I forget the female in our heroes group.
Marge Hagenberger, Laura Baker, Dr.
That's
Laura
the one.
Baker.
But Michelle Williams is front and center on the credits, and she's only in it for a good 15 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. just setting up
But,
the character, and then she's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's a great little kid actor. I'm not sure if it was her first film. Either way, yeah, fantastic kid actor. Until she transforms into Natasha Henstridge, and that whole transformation is pretty wild, which we can get into in a bit. But
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone else. Yeah, I mean, for a cast, it's solid. It's solid for. I think the feeling of wow, this cast is because of the type of film it is. If it was a proper Oscar baity, top-notch, top-directed film, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. But it's a film about a genetically modified, created alien with these incredible actors in it. It just doesn't normally happen.
No,
or it's a film that flops and loses like 100 million. This film did nearly 3 times its budget.
Yeah, it was a big movie. Like I was saying, going back to the poster, I remember seeing that poster everywhere.
Yeah,
like it's got to be one. I'd be interested to see if it's got to be one of the biggest movies of that period. Because I just, in my memory, you know what I mean? I just remember seeing it so many places that it must have been up there. So, it's like you say, it's sort of an alien invasion movie, but
yeah,
not really. It's an interesting take on it. It's an interesting twist on it. So essentially, they received a DNA code from outer space. I think is generally how is the plot is in a nutshell. So yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like the search for extraterrestrial life.
Cetil, I believe.
Center. They use these sort of giant radars and picked up this code.
SETI.
Yeah. Picked up this code from outer space that basically gave them a recipe for creating life. So they create life in this laboratory, and fuse it with human DNA to create this young girl, Sil. We're given a little bit of info early on about how she grows really quickly. So I think she's only meant to be about 3 or 4 months old, isn't she? And she's like a fully grown adult woman to our eyes. They realize that should the rate at which she grows and the rate at which she potentially breed would be too dangerous to allow her to continue, so they attempt to kill her, basically, end the experiment
with cyanide gas.
And she busts out of there and escapes, and then the rest of the film is essentially a manhunt. It's, looking for, or a woman hunt, looking for Sil and trying to, terminate her, basically, find her and kill her.
The thing with it being a manhunt, again, which I liked, the sort of twist on this plot, is that it wasn't just army man and government man looking for her. It's a group of ragtag individuals that each have their own individual characteristics.
Yeah,
they're all different in this little group trying to hunt her, and it's a really good little group of characters rather than army man, bang 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 bang.
So in theory, Michael Madsen's character, who's got a ridiculous name, Preston Lennox.
Oh,
he is.
Oh, he's been in some porns. He's been in a couple of porns.
He is he is supposed to be filling that action gung ho army man role, but it's hinted at a lot, but he never really actually does anything that action man. I mean, I think it's kind of alluded to the fact that he's some sort of like CIA assassin, but
I got it as like a bounty hunter.
He
takes care. Takes care of problems, doesn't he? Like,
I mean, there's a lot of that language when he's introduced as like, oh, I'm brought in when there's no other option. When I'm the last resort to solve the government's problems that they don't want people to know about. And essentially, he's just a detective. Like he's not got access to any special gadgets or gizmos. We don't see him doing anything particularly like Black Ops or clandestine. He's just a guy got a gun. You know what I mean?
And loves his cat.
Yeah, and loves his cat.
Which
there's nothing wrong
they
with that.
focused on that for a good 10 seconds, which is a long time for that. And
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
is this cat going to die? This cat can't die. Is she going to eat it? What's going to happen?
It sets him up as being an animal lover. It shows that despite his rough, tough exterior, he's got a sensitive side.
Yeah.
Because they do. There is. If I've got one, there's a couple of things about this that I've got that I could criticize, but one of the things is they're really tacked on like love story between him and the other doctor.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It's very torturous. It's not necessary, and yeah,
there's no emotion between. There's no
no
connection. There's nothing. It doesn't work.
But I guess the thing with the cat is to set him up as being this sort of tough guy, tough guy with a softer side or whatever.
But it doesn't follow up. It just look after my cat. Going on a job. Bye.
Yeah, I mean we'll talk about the rest of the team.
Yeah.
So then to talk about Madsen's love interest is Dr. Laura Baker, and she's she's a biochemist or a biologist of some description.
I believe so. I mean, I thought that was what Alfred Doc Ock. I'm just going to call him Doc Ock.
Doc Ock.
Alfred Molina. I thought that was his job.
His job is something a little bit more specialist. It's
oh, here we go. I got him. Laura Baker, molecular biologist.
Oh, that's it, molecular biologist.
And Stephen Arden, who is Doc Ock, Alfred Molina, is an anthropologist.
That's it. It's an anthropologist. But I think it's like a specific, because he says something about teaching. It's like comparative anthropology or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Harvard. That's it. Then we've got Forrest Whitaker, who is an empath, which is the film's version of psychic when it suits him. He's the character I've got the biggest problems with. Yeah,
agreed. But I love Forrest Whitaker. And
I do love Forrest Whitaker. He plays the character very well.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in his performance. It's just the whole concept of the character, who is some sort of like psychic MacGuffin that it acts like some sort of alien radar when the film needs him to.
If he wasn't there, take his character out and then have the group trying to find her.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
It doesn't happen.
It's not happening.
Mean, he knows where she's gone from sort of half the city, but then there's a scene later on in the film where he's literally stood next to her and he has no idea. Like it.
Yeah. Until it sort of clicks, right? Because that's the first time any of them have actually seen her facially wise, because there are parts where the whole film is a chase film. They're constantly one step behind. This group are one step behind our alien, Tasha Henstridge, trying to find her. But every time they do, there's a way that they can't visually see what she looks like as a person. Like there's a security camera footage where her face is blurred. And I think this is the first time later on where Forrest Whitaker actually sees her, and then it clicks. Shit, it's her.
Oh yeah. But you can feel her. And he's like, oh, she's, when she goes home with a guy from the club, the diabetic guy. Like he can sense that that's where she's. Well, they find out from the club, but he can sense that there must have been something wrong, and she'll have gone this way, she'll go this way.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene where she's like peeking at him through a hole in the fence or through the trees or something, and he's none the wiser that she's there. Yeah, sat in the hotel later on, he's like, I think she's in the building. I can sense she's having sex with Dr. Octopus upstairs. It's like, what, can you?
They kind of turn his character up a bit, and they can't really decide at times how his powers work in a way.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's very confused. And then the final guy of the sort of main hero group is Ben Kingsley, who's another very 90s action name, Xavier Fitch.
Oh, they're brilliant, these names. They are fantastic.
He's the head of the science experiment that created Syl, and essentially in charge of this team trying to track it down. And he has rocking the hip 90s scientist look with his long coat and his scarf and one hand in his pocket, and he's all like, "Yeah, I do science.
I am Science Man."
He's great.
We're Science Man with two goons, basically, because they're more like a private special organization that's like under the radar in a way.
Yeah, it's like secret government funding, sort of your general Area 51 Black Ops site sort of stuff.
use the GoldenEye satellite to that was one of my that was my first note. GoldenEye, which doesn't exist anymore. That satellite.
Oh, really?
Do you not know how?
No.
Incredibly quick tangent. One of the cables snapped, and the whole thing just came down and exploded. And just is no more.
Oh shit! Like essentially like a sequence from
it
an
fucking
action
landed.
movie.
It fucking landed on Scene Bean.
Oh shit! I mean, you'd think that that's something you check the cables, keep an eye on that. Oh well.
Yeah, I just hope no one's under it. Well, they did it for me, for England, James.
So
so I just wanted to bring that up.
No, that's cool. I didn't know that. So yes, so we have our set. We have our young Syl escapes. We quickly have this like Avengers assemble of an introduction of the various like hunter team.
They really are, yeah.
people, and off they go. And the first clue they get is that she's skipped town on a train that happens to be like right the train line that runs past the facility, and she murders a hobo that
just before we
essentially tries to attack her. So it's fair game.
Oh yeah, they come in. The whole thing with Syl, right? So these scientists get sent back from aliens, quote unquote, like a recipe for their DNA, right? Or how to create new life by using their DNA. So this was a part I was never sure how it worked. How could they just instantly create otherworldly DNA and then it be put into human form?
Yeah, well, it's one of those. Just accept it.
Okay, I accept. Fine. I'm moving on. Now,
I mean, I ain't no scientician, but
excuse me.
I'm assuming DNA.
Since when?
I mean, DNA is what? It is chemicals. It is chemical compounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Presumably, and just it's the ordering of it. And then,
it's just numbers and letters. That's all.
If everybody's, if there are only so many elements in the world and all life is created from combinations of these various elements, then in theory something from far, we've got the ingredients to do the recipe. They just tell us the recipe.
I suppose, yeah.
I guess.
So in a theory, she's half human, half whatever they've mixed up to make.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's that 90s science. Jurassic Park does something similar, doesn't it? Because they get the dinosaur embryo DNA, but it has some gaps in it, so they fill it with frog DNA. They plug those gaps with frog DNA.
Yeah.
And they just so happen to use a species of frogs that can change its sex, which is why the dinosaurs change their sex and then start to breed.
You hit the nail on the head right there with that line of it's 90s science, because it really is. It's just ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. Makes no sense. But it looks good.
Like the face not the face recognition, like when they enhance the CCTV image, and that CCTV image is made of like 4 pixels. It's like, this is a face on CCTV.
Oh, whenever they do that,
they run the program with some 90s hacking. Keyboard tapping, tap tap tap, and
the best version of that is where someone will go enhance, rotate 90 degrees, rotate a fucking image 90 degrees, zoom in, like what? It's not possible, but it's great. It's great. So she's this sort of mixture, but so I guess she has these sort of human instincts because obviously she knows what a train is. The whole film, they're talking about they put in lines about how she's looking to mate. It's animal instincts is what they would do, right? So an animal, will be scared of a train or a big moving loud object like that. Like a cat in a car maybe or something. He'd be scared. She knows what things are, but also she learns very quickly. Like when she's in the shop at the train station, she instantly learns what money is. It's that quick.
With just want to mention the old style credit card
my
swiping machine.
God, yes.
I totally forgotten that was even a thing.
Taking a print of it, taking a print. Yeah, fantastic. So she instantly learns things within a split second. She's not scared of this big moving machine. Like just walks up onto it, grabs.
But she is also being chased by a bunch of army guys and dogs at the same time.
Well.
So
yes.
it's like that's moving marginally faster than I am. Let's jump on that.
But that's the second train, isn't it? Because it's the first train, which you said with the homeless guy, she jumps on.
Yeah.
And then turns him inside out, in a way.
Yeah, just hurls him at the walls. Yeah, pretzels him.
He had it coming.
He totally did. He was blatantly about to attack her.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, rapey. In fact, hobo murder train is my first note. Actually, my second note. My first note is that the title card is very reminiscent of Alien.
It wants to be Alien. It wants to be its own version of Alien.
It does, and the ending as well is very Aliens. 100%. But not skipping ahead. She is. She's a very interesting character because at times, because of this sort of conflict, like she doesn't know about her. Like she almost doesn't know about her alien half, and then does know about it. She doesn't know what she is or who she is, and
she gets confused.
I do kind of feel like really sympathetic towards her for like quite a few times in the film, and then she brutally murders somebody for no real reason. But yeah, she's a sympathetic character for a good chunk of the movie, because she's a victim, in some ways, a lot of ways. Specifically,
in the second train when she's changed trains and she's stolen someone's bag holder, looking for it, rummaging on that train where she transforms, where she kind of goes into a cocoon state and just again, it's a bit loose on how fast the DNA is working, because obviously she's a kid for this short period, but suddenly she's then a grown adult.
Yeah,
it's a bit loose, but
a couple of hours in a cocoon.
That scene's great because they do a good job of masking a lot of the CGI with the flashing lights. It's cheap way of doing it, but it's a way to mask it.
They do, and I made that exact note that it's got that pretty crappy early CGI effect, but they do their best to mask it, with the train light. Train's going, it's like the flickering of the light or whatever.
But it is during that where you see what does anything cause her transformation? Because she's eating like a chocolate pudding, she's still rummaging through the bag, and suddenly her face starts bulging, tentacles start coming out, and that's where she's like confused, upset. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
No, she doesn't know what's happening, but I think it's that compulsion. She's had that compulsion to eat. And I think it's that she's eaten enough that now she's got, now the alien's got enough energy to sort of move into the next stage. But her sort of human side is acting unknowingly under the influence of the alien side, so she's just eating everything she can. And then it's not really explained, but that's how I interpreted it, is that essentially she ate enough that she could evolve into the next stage. I get
it.
But that concept of how she grows and how she changes is just thrown in at that point. For all we know, we've already been told she grows quickly, but there's never been any mention of there being a cocoon involved previously.
I wonder if it's meant to be like a sort of like a chrysalis, like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Like it's that part of the cycle of this alien, this life, that when it gets to a certain point, it goes into a cocoon, levels up in a way, if you will, to a beautiful Natasha Henstridge. But the train conductor gets it bad. Poor woman.
There's quite a few more or less. Well, there's a couple of exceptions, but a lot of people, everybody that dies in this film near enough is innocent, is just an innocent bystander. They're not
apart from diabetic
antagonist.
Apart from diabetic guy.
Yeah, he has it coming. But then there's a lot of maids and
Yeah.
Just people in the wrong, and train conductors and people in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, now you say it. Now you say it. The worst one that I felt so bad for was just the woman that she.
The poor woman whose car.
Oh my god! That she tortured and then just. She had no escape of blowing her up. Oh, it was horrible. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
But before the cocoon scene, we get the attempt to recreate her in a laboratory scene.
Oh yes, they do they have some of like the old concoction, DNA concoction? They try it, or is it? Do they find?
I can't remember how they say it because I thought it was a really interesting scene because they like, and it's Laura Baker. It's the doctor on the Avengers that she says. Perhaps the first thing we should do is recreate her so we know what we're dealing with.
Yeah,
and they do it, but she says to do it without the human half. So it skips on the science completely, but essentially they're recreating the alien recipe without the human substitutes, and I don't know how they do it, but they have that scene where the camera breaks and then
she has
very rapidly.
Yeah, in the zoomed in, because they have a camera zoomed into the cell like a microscope. She implants. I think they have a normal cell.
She says the alien DNA into this cell.
Yeah, she impregnates.
But I don't know what the cell is. It's just a cell. But yeah, essentially that's going to be recreating it without the human. They're just making a pure alien, essentially, I think is the theory behind that bit. And it rapidly grows and...
Yeah. I mean, rapidly. It basically is like a venom. It's like a symbiote. It basically happens. But it really bothered me, this scene with Ben Kingsley. Like that, it was a classic trope of, can't let them out. He's panicking. We can't let them out. It might escape. It might escape. So no, just do it. Just let them out quick. I'm sure they're capable just to quickly get out the door and not follow them. Like, no, we can't do it. We can't do it.
Yeah,
no one takes over and just helps them at all. They're sort of sitting there, just do it. What are you doing? Do it. No one really like restrains him, because that room becomes a furnace.
They're just essentially watching while he burns the room out. Yeah, there is a great bit though, as while the thing's growing in the tank.
Yeah,
and they're struggling to get the top back on. You can tell that it's essentially just like two arms in rubber gloves, just waving their hands about. Before it turns into like the tentacly thing.
I do like with that sort of creature. There's no. It's kind of the thing. Like, there's no distinctive look to it. It's just a blob of some sort. It's with tentacle. It is what it is. It's not what she becomes in her Geiger-esque human-looking alien.
No.
You know, with 2 arms, 2 legs, big head, torso, titty tentacles and whatnot, which we'll get to. Hey, I've got notes on that.
Yeah, I'll bet.
What a way to cap off titty tentacles right there with a break. It's important. It's part of the film, okay? And I joke, I say it. Just quickly back to the cocoon, thing in the train, where the train conductor, who is apparently the nicest train conductor ever.
Yeah, she's really nice.
But she's almost too nice. There is a lone young girl on this train, no parents around, no guardians or anything, and she's like, "You got a ticket? You got a ticket, child?" And she's like, "This much? Well, I'll give it to you for this cheaper price. Here you go."
Yeah, we'll pretend you're 11 so you can go and have it for half price.
Nothing like, if we're pretending you're 11, you're 12. Where are your guardians? Who are you with? You're on this long haul train that's going.
She does ask if somebody's meeting her at the other end. I think she does say you're traveling alone, but it's...
different times, man. Different times.
Nowadays. I mean, yeah, definitely. Well, nowadays it'd be like, I want to see some ID. You're not getting the train ticket for half price.
Yeah, get off. They would have restrained her. Chuck her off.
Should have been in the train jail, the trail brig.
Does the cocoon have the because I feel like Alien does this, where it has the sort of pulsing sound of womp, 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 womp. It's got the light effects, but I don't know. I can't remember if it's got the sound of womp, womp, womp.
There was something, but again, there was the kind of noise of the train as well, so I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, but she got sucked into it, really sucked into it.
Yeah, the face grab, which is our first. That's our first like major, like big attempt at a jump scare. I mean, it's not. I think you know you can see it coming. You know what's going to happen. But that would be she gets face grabbed and then it cuts away. And then when we next see the cocoon, she's coming out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, sliding out of it. Yeah.
All slimy and glistening and nudie Rudy. That's the first first teenage pause moment.
There's a lot of nudity in this film.
There is. It won an award. It did win an award for like best. It's like it's a silly joke award at some horror festival or other.
So an MTV award.
Not. It won an MTV award for best kiss.
Shut up. What kiss? Shut up.
Robbie's fatal kiss with the tongue back of the head.
Oh, that one.
It won an MTV movie award for that, apparently. I'm just trying to. I just can't find the note now where I found it. But yeah, it did win some.
So I've been looking for the scene, the cocoon scene. So yeah, it's visually, it's a good looking effect, this cocoon. And the conductor, the train conductor, ticket inspector, he gets it's like the cocoon opens, it's got like teeth in the cocoon, and she gets proper sucked in. But there's a shot of Natasha Henstridge falling out of it. That's pretty gruesome.
Yeah, she was covered in KY jelly. Apparently, she was covered in KY jelly, and they built the set upside down. And so they filmed it, and the shot was flipped afterwards. So it was upside down. She came out of it, and then they flipped the shot to make it look like she comes out the wrong way around. But yeah, she was completely naked and covered in KY jelly.
I mean, I'm not going there. Okay, we're older than that, but I mean that's the best way to slide out of it. There's also one other little scene. We'll move on. When she is on the train, and I forgot to write this down, but I do remember the visuals of it. I think it's a young Michelle Williams. She's sort of having a dream, and she is having a dream of being chased by this train, but it's a Geiger-looking train. It looks awesome. Do you remember this? Yes. It's like spears, and the train is like alien faces on the front of it.
It's 100% Hedgehog Geiger. There's no way you look at it and think anybody else came up with that.
It looks amazing.
Hedgehog Geiger scene. Yeah. I mean, we get that quite a lot, don't we? Through the movie, we get Syl having these dreams about her true form, her true identity. Because every time something vaguely alien happens to her, like just before she goes into the cocoon, or there's various, things protrude from her and stuff. Yeah. She freaks out about it. She doesn't know what's happening to her necessarily. And that's also coupled with these dreams. Yeah, definitely. It's also coupled with these dreams where she keeps having these dreams of, aliens mating. I'm pretty sure there's like a definite sort of alien sex scene that happens at one point.
But the quality of those scenes, those sexy alien sex scenes, are kind of like stretched. The actual film of it feels very stretched. The quality looks really obscure compared to the rest of the film.
I think a lot of that came down to costing, because they were trying. There was various. I think that train scene was one in particular that it was almost cut because of the cost of it, and Geiger put in the money for like out of his own pocket to film it because he didn't want to lose anything. But I think a lot of like the Geiger effects were really, really costly. So they probably did did just short amount of it as they could, and then stretch it or loop it.
Right.
Yeah, it was named as one of the films we only watch for the nudity by website Horrorland.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's predominantly obviously female nudity. There's I don't think you see any full frontal male nudity.
No.
I think you see Michael Madsen's ass, but that's about it.
Yeah, there's the
that's
club,
enough.
There's the guy that she picks up in the club, Michael, is it? He has quite a new, like, he comes out of the shower, doesn't he? You don't see anything, but you see everything but almost, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of it is mainly female nudity. It's topless nudity, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, that's what it is.
Nothing below the belt.
No. So yeah, I guess where are we? I feel like we've done
the cocoon. We got up to the cocoon. So the next note.
She's in LA.
Yeah, she's in LA. Oh, we get the background on who she is and where she came from is summed up by Madsen like perfectly. He says, "You got a recipe from outer space, and you grew a human alien in a vat, and now it's escaped, and we got to go and kill it." Like, yep, that's about sums it up. We get like a really succinct description of the plot from Madsen's character, and then we go to that. She rocks up at the motel, and she's
that's it.
Looking for a man. I'm looking for a guy or whatever.
Now she doesn't have a full on vocabulary. Like she doesn't know. I say English. She sort of picked up phrases which are somehow able to keep her going by.
Yeah, quite a lot of the time she repeats something like one person will say something to her, and then the next person she meets, she'll repeat something that first person said, and that's kind of how she ends up communicating. So the lady in the wedding dress shop asks her if she's foreign, and she says yes. And then later on in the club, she says to somebody, "I'm foreign." So she tends to, basically just parrot things that somebody's already said to her, and it applies. Fun fact, the motel clerk played Abraham Lincoln in an episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
I'm now trying to remember that because Sabrina was
do
the shit.
Do with that information what you will.
Sabrina was the shit at 5 p.m. on Nickelodeon. That was great. But I digress. That is a hell of a fun fact. So she goes looking for men. Her animalistic instincts in her DNA are pretty much from this point on. She just wants to mate.
Yeah,
she needs to mate to produce more, and that is pretty much the rest of the film. But the club, which is the club of the film, because
we need to talk about.
We need to talk about this club because this club is wild. Is absolutely wild.
It's trapeze artists and like
it's the Matrix Club.
Bongo players, and it's like, do clubs like this really exist anywhere, or have they ever existed anywhere outside of like films? It's
maybe we're not hip enough.
I mean, quite probably,
and that's
not
fine.
Hip enough.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But my one issue with this club, like, I don't care how it looks. I don't care what's inside. Fine, it's 90s. It's over the top. Someone got brutally murdered inside this club.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to her in a minute. But the club just was open the next day.
Oh yeah. Nothing stops the party.
It's fine. No investigation. Brutally murdered, blood everywhere. No. It's still open the next day. Brixton Academy has been closed since December because of a tragic stampede event. Fine. Right? This fucking club, they still don't know who killed this woman. Who ripped her spine out in the bathroom. And let's get back to bongos. Way, trapeze. Woo!
Yeah, fair enough.
She's still probably there. She's still probably there. And said woman that still feels threatened by that she kills. Again, animalistic instinct, feels threatened by this woman. She is credited as bathroom bimbo in this film.
Oh, Oh, that's not fair.
I have a shot which I'll put up here in the podcast of Amazon Prime's credited of her.
The thing,
she's getting a job.
The thing about I wonder if they tell them that's what the credit is when you go.
Yeah, maybe
to the cast. This is just I'm just we just need a woman aged between 20 and 30 or whatever. You go, and then afterwards they find out, or whether it's like I'm here to audition for the part of club bimbo.
Excuse me, bathroom bimbo.
Bathroom bimbo. I beg your pardon.
Yes.
No, the thing, I have a bit of an issue with that whole exchange, and because they sort of theorize that she's killed this woman because she saw her as a threat.
Yeah.
But when she comes out of the bathroom, she blows off the guy that woman was involved in and goes over to check jacket diabetic man. So while I accept that, she's killing because she sees them as threats or whatever, she then does, she's taken out the competition for man number one and immediately ignores man number one and goes to man number two. I didn't really follow why that happens. And similarly, like the end of the film, she goes back after sort of engineering this like escape.
Yeah.
She goes back to the one place where the people that are the only people in the world that know about her and are after her, and messes with one of them. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense from a behavioural point of view. You know what I mean?
From the behaviour of the fact all she wants is to mate. It's almost like she just doesn't care. But I hadn't really.
She cares to an extent, because we find out that she's got some sort of extra sense. She rejects the club guy because he's a diabetic, and then she kills him because he doesn't take no for an answer, and that's why he dies.
I hadn't really clocked that whole thing in the club, that she moves on from the guy that she originally wanted. Oh, I wonder what that would be in the sort of animalistic instinct.
It's odd, because he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything like to upset her or overtly put her off in any way. Nothing that we're told about. She just it's an odd one. But the guy that she does, we've got to talk about. Obviously, the guy that she does go back with. Is he called Michael? I want to call him Michael.
We'll call him Michael while I look for the real name of him.
His actual name.
Yeah.
My note says Mike's house, and I just had to comment on the finger snap for lights, and then the finger snap and the music comes on. And he's like, it just so happens that the guy she picks up in this, I mean, I guess you'd argue it's a pretty exclusive club or whatever, but the guy she picks up lives in the Hollywood Hills. He's got a it's Robbie. He's got a big fancy mansion where apparently, the lights and the stereo are all controlled by finger snaps.
Once again, it's another fancy over the top 90s aesthetic. Like a lights on. See? Or like if do you remember in Friends where Jon Favreau is dating Monica? He's like the billionaire.
Yes.
And he's got like a sort of AI Alexa thing already in his house. He's like, lights on? Oh, lights down. And he's like talking to a computer. Like it feels like one of those 90s things. Like, this is high tech. It doesn't even exist. It's not even probably thought about. It doesn't exist. But this looks fancy, and this will get her in my pants. And his house is absurd. It's so, for a guy, this guy must be important, surely, in life to own a house like this. In the hills.
I mean, it's LA. He lives in the hills. He's probably some sort. We're probably supposed to think he's some sort of. He'll be some sort of mover or shaker in the movie business. I'm sure.
You'd have thought so, yeah. Or a porn
finger
star.
Snapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just crazy artwork everywhere. It's like it's a house no one would live in like that. It's. Yeah, I was.
It exists purely to be a nice set.
When when our gang of heroes do eventually get to the house, because they're always one step behind. They're always one step behind Sil.
But really closely one step behind.
Yeah.
It's quite...
Yeah.
It's pretty edgy, you see, the way it clicks along in this first half. Like, they're literally one step behind the entire way, and you think, oh, they've just missed her. They've just missed her.
I was kind of hoping when they find out, like, what they're trying to discover, why did she reject him? Why did he get what he got because she rejected him? I kind of joked beforehand without knowing. It's like, oh god, I bet it's not going to be diabetes, is it? That's kind of lame. It's got to be like smack, or he's a druggie. That's why she didn't want to get involved. And no, he's a diabetic. Like,
he's diabetic.
It's kind of lame, but it also kind of makes sense in a way.
It does.
Yeah.
But I like the way they reveal it with Madsen holding up the needles.
Yeah.
He must have been some kind of doper or diabetic.
One of the two. Yeah.
One of the two. It's a good kill though. We get
It's a nice great kill.
Alien tongue through the back of the head, or technically through the front of the head, out of the back of the head.
I think what's great about it is I've got the scene here. He has his hands the back of her head about to get close and kiss. The scene doesn't cut.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no, there it cuts. Okay. It cuts with the camera facing. I wonder if that's a prop head of hers. Okay, camera cuts, and as soon as it cuts, we are looking at Robbie's face towards the camera, holding Sil's head, and then the camera pans around to the back of Robbie's head, and that's where So I wonder if that is a prop head. No, I think it's her head, and they've obviously just put some sort of effect, some sort of a tube behind his head, masked with a little puppet popping out the back of his head. It looks great though. It really looks great. Good. Yeah.
I mean, we've got some. There's not a huge amount of kills, really, but we've got some good like practical effects going on. Or that look nice, like the when we see the bathroom bimbo with her spine ripped out.
That looks great.
It does look very good. I'm kind of confused as to how that like happens though. There's no. How does she get behind the bathroom, like into the wall behind the bathroom?
Yeah, unless there's a male bathroom like mirrored, polar opposite behind it, and
maybe.
There. But yeah, it kind of comes out of nowhere. She's just there, and it's her alien hand. It's not her human hand that's poked through.
Yeah,
she's transformed into the alien hand.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens. It's kind of. I mean, it may just matter. Just ride with it. There's no real reason to question it too much. But I did at the time. I was just like, well, how's she got there? But anyway, but that's the first time we see sort of like the alien half in. Well, it's not the first time because we've got the cocoon, but out in the wild we see this sort of that she can shapeshift. It's not really clear as whether she can do it at will or not, though.
No, it's not clear at all. No,
it's almost like it's like not convenient necessarily, but like when her instincts to alien instincts take over, then it'll occur. I feel like that's how it's presented.
I think you're right. That I feel like that, like you said, it's not explained, but that makes more sense. So like
she
builds up inside her. No, I was not quite tangent, but I can't remember where I got this note from, and I think my notes are in order, so I think it's around this point. It's a 2-word note: aggressive squirrel.
That's late. It's a little bit later on.
Is it later on? Okay, never mind.
It's when the team get to Robbie's house. It's when the team get to Robbie's house. Yeah, I've got squirrel attack.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of little things before that. So just after the tongue kill is when we get the video enhancement.
Yes, the motel.
The videotape from the security tape from the motel, or is it from the club?
It'll be.
It must be from the club, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's from the club.
No, oh no, they go to the motel and he gives them the videotape, which they then use to enhance.
Right.
Or is that later on? I may be getting confused now myself.
They definitely get a videotape from the motel. That definitely happens. But I feel like this enhancement scene is footage from the club.
Oh, hang on. The enhancement scene is after she gets into a car accident. She gets hit by the car.
Oh,
got it
right,
here. Yeah.
Because, well, that's what I was leading up to. So that she gets hit by the car.
Yeah.
Smashed through the bus stop.
Yeah.
And then that random guy pulls up, shoulders his way through the crowd, because he got a fleeting couple of seconds glance of this woman before she gets hit by a car. And he pushes his way through the crowd and is like, I'm claiming, that's mine now. I'm after her. I fancy her.
So I'm here now. I'm important. She's mine.
So he takes her off to the hospital, and then we have the scene in the hospital where he's talking to the lady on the reception, or the nurse or whoever she is, and he's like, "Oh, has she got insurance?" So he's like, "I don't know anything about her." He's like, "But put it on my card," and she makes that comment of like, "Oh, you've just met and you're paying for her medical bills, with your credit card. Like, why are there no men like you?
Oh yeah.
No more." Like, you don't want more men like that. He's seen this woman for about 30 seconds and decides that, oh, I'm gonna, nurse her back to health and then she'll be mine. Like she's a sparrow that's flown into his greenhouse or something. It's such a fucking weird thing.
Yeah, he wasn't even the one that like hit her. He was just a passerby.
Yeah, he just cruises around town hoping beautiful women get hit by cars so he can rock up and save them.
There we go. Oh, there's one. Well, she'll do.
I mean, all right, he had a car phone and he presumably phoned for the ambulance and he went with her, and like that's all kind of noble, but he is essentially just doing it because he might get his end away when she's back on full health.
And he looks like that sort of guy that would.
It's very, very weird.
Yeah. Just put it on my credit card. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, but she leaves him, right? She doesn't go, or is he the guy that she does go back with?
No, she does go back with him because
she does go back with him. He's the hot tub guy.
Yeah, she regenerates so quickly in the hospital, and the doctor's like, "What the fuck is going on?" But the nurse won't have any of it. She's like, "Doctor, we need you now." And he's like, "But look, that's not normal. Doctor, we need you now." Yeah,
there's a child been burned. Is that really?
There's a fucking alien in front of me. That is not normal. I don't care, Doctor. We need you now.
And then we have a scene that I feel again is very 90s, where it shows the entire team and they've all got sunglasses on. Like everybody's all sunglassed.
Yeah. That's when they're all
being their cool selves.
They're at the car crash site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, so they're sort of on the heels. In fact, on my note, I've got a note at this point. Hot on her trail the whole time, thanks to the empath psychic MacGuffin. Because he's like, she walked this way. She went that way. She walked. She met a man in a red car. I feel it emotionally.
Well, you didn't feel that she was going to get hit by a car, did you?
No.
Didn't see that coming.
So that's when we get a good example of like his empathetic ability being essentially whatever they want it to be. Like he can locate her, knows which direction she's walked off because of how she was feeling about it, I guess. But then we have back in the then we're at the car crash cruiser's house.
I just found the squirrel scene. I'm good.
Okay.
We're good.
So we have this scene, and again, it's like she's entertaining her potential mate.
Yeah.
They have a little hot tub action, and then do you want to take over and talk about the titty tentacles?
I do actually. He's very suave. He's very smooth. He brings out a I want to say like a cheese board, a little snack board today, just to see how she's feeling, just to have a nice little day. But she wants to get straight into the tub, straight to action. She hasn't got time to wait around. Her DNA is moving. It's moving. You gotta get the baby going.
The clock's ticking.
Biological clock is ticking. And once again, this guy's kind of like Robbie. We don't see inside his house, but the guy is jacked. He's got that sort of big house on the hills with the pool and the jacuzzi.
Yeah, he's rich. I mean, I guess she's looking for the most desirable mate, so rich and successful.
But yeah, you get that impression from him at the beginning of the car crash, like you just said. He's hunting around town for skirt. Any type of skirt he can get that gets in the car crash. And now, even before she transformed into the alien, he's like, slow down. I want to get to know you first, in a way. He's not the creepy, just hunting around for any sort of woman. Any sort of action.
Despite how he met this woman, he does. He tells her to slow down, to which she responds, "I want a baby."
Literally word for word. Right, I believe. I want a baby. And he tries to get out of it, but no, she overpowers him. Like you mentioned just before about the bathroom bimbo, where she sort of gets aggressive and the alien instinct comes out of her. It instantly starts to come out of her now in the... I think it's a pool. It's not a jacuzzi. It's like a mini pool, I think. Small pool.
Yeah, something like that. I think it's meant to be a hot tub. I think it's...
Oh, hot tub. It's pretty big, though, for a hot tub.
Yeah. He's rich.
He's very rich. Her body transformation happens very quickly. You can see the CGI wasn't too bad. Her facial muscles start to change. Her bone structure starts to change. And then we cut back to another shot, maybe 10, 20 seconds later, and she's fully changed underwater, submerged him. And the tentacles come straight out of her nipples.
Yes.
That is the choice. The choice was made. That is where they're coming out of in the design.
But
it's very Geiger.
My note says, "Spike out the tit, good old Geiger."
Mine's just titty tentacles. No, actually, sorry. My titty tentacles note is later on. This note is, in quotes, "It came out of her titties." Because I was so surprised. Brilliant. And the tentacles come out and literally, I think, strangle him under the water and drown him. Yeah. So she's still, this is attempt number 2. She still doesn't get what she's after. She still doesn't get the seed that she's after. So I guess
and there is a line, because shortly after this, or immediately the next scene, is the Scooby gang are at the house.
The Groovy gang, yeah.
And there is a line that says something like, "There was no semen detected in the water."
Yes. But they detected it so quickly, apparently.
Incredibly quickly. Like
there and then.
Again, them 90s laboratories, they can instantly... They've got
get the semen detector.
I think it's just get the semen detector out the van. I think it's just the probe. It's just, they just stick it in.
They carry it with them. They carry it with them everywhere. Yeah. You never know.
But then he goes... does it? Because she's still there, right? Still there immediately in the vicinity.
Yeah.
But what really made me laugh is he steps. Is it Preston? Is it Madsen's character?
Yeah. Yeah.
He sort of he's got his gun out and he goes wandering in, and he takes 2 steps off the patio past the hot tub, and he's in the Bolivian jungle. That backyard turns into Predator. It's ridiculous.
It's got the classic nighttime but overly lit wooded area with overdone smoke machine. Why is there to the ground mist or smoke?
A dense
hovering across
jungle.
Yeah, I've got it here, and I'll put a screen grab of it right now here so you can see. And is it his backyard or is it out? I think it's outside his backyard because it's still fenced off. I think it is part of his backyard.
No, I don't think he climbs a fence. In fact, I'm pretty sure he gets to a fence.
Yeah, he gets to a fence, but there's so much smoke here. Where's it coming from? So much mist. And we're clearly talking, I don't know, a good time of the year in LA, because before her car crash, she's driving along the beach. It's lovely, sunny.
Yeah.
But there's mist. This very low, thick mist that's below knee level.
LA smog, innit?
Oh,
I guess. I don't know.
Awful.
I don't know. But yeah, it suddenly just turns into Predator. And we even get, and this is the scene I was talking about where the empath's powers are just really like hit and miss, because she's definitely staring at him at that point, and he can't feel her emotions then. But we do get Laura, Dr. Laura, being attacked by a squirrel.
My God, this is so he is doing. He's on the hunt, and we do get a quick scene of Syl's alien sort of reptilian looking eye.
Yeah,
like she's just watching over, trying to keep hidden, and he's gone off into the Bolivian jungle. But what's her name? Laura, yeah, is back at the semen infested jacuzzi. No, sorry, there's no semen found.
The non semen infested jacuzzi.
Sorry, get that
semen free jacuzzi.
Semen free jacuzzi. That's what people should ask when they go to buy one. Is this a semen free jacuzzi?
I want a semen free
I want a semen free one. Yeah. And she's sort of looking in the distance. Is everything okay? It's sort of like, is everything okay? Pounced on by the most aggressive squirrel you've ever. Oh. No, why would this squirrel do like what? There's no. She didn't have any nuts on her.
I mean, we have the false, the false scare animal. It's usually a cat.
That's exactly what it is.
Jumping out, and they decided to put their own little twist on that and use a squirrel. When in the history of ever has a squirrel ever jumped out on somebody? A squirrel.
And it's not a case of. It jumps on her as like a stepping stone to get to the ground, because it's a fucking squirrel. They can walk down trees in a way.
I mean, generally, when there's people, they go the opposite way. They go into the trees.
Very timid. It jumps on her, but they put the sound effect in of like it's going for the attack. And she freaks out, obviously, and brushes it off. But why? Why would the squirrel do? This is now the last time House by the Cemetery we had the bat, and now we've got an aggressive squirrel.
Yeah,
and in fact, the film before this, for a movie that shall not be named, had a very dodgy looking squirrel.
Oh yeah. It's becoming my new favorite trope, I think.
What, aggressive squirrel? That should be
aggressive animals.
Aggressive,
unusually aggressive animals.
Yeah. And then it just runs off. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised for the time of this film that Michael Madsen, they cut to him, turn round. An action shot, bang, 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 blow that squirrel away.
Slow motion diving with two guns.
Yeah, fucking chow yum fat, hard boiled. John Woo.
It's coming right for us.
Watch out for squirrels, folks. I also just have one more thing before we get into the film. This is about the film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was doing some of this research while we were talking about its gross, what it made, the budget for that year. And I found the domestic box office for 1995. And Species, what do you think Species is? What number?
Oh, like a ranking. I don't... I'm thinking what else came out well. I know about GoldenEye. I'd say maybe 6.
Out of... Oh, okay. It's 24th.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it would be top 10 somewhere.
6 was Casper, okay? Like, yeah, look, just, again, we'll get back into it, but just look at the greatness that was 9, because cinema is very different nowadays to what it used to be. 90s was, you had just, I would say good family fun films, right?
Yeah.
Number 1, Batman Forever.
Right, okay.
Number 2, Apollo 13. 3, Toy Story. 4, Pocahontas. 5, Ace Ventura When Nature Calls. 6, Casper. 7, Die Hard 3. 8, Crimson Tide. 9, GoldenEye. And 10, Waterworld. But then we have films like 7.
10, Waterworld was 10. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but its budget was probably a lot higher.
Yeah,
this is just what they made.
Yeah.
15 Get Shorty, 18 Dumb and Dumber. Like, they were just fun films.
I love Waterworld, actually. I think it's brilliant. I think it's a great film.
I actually quite like it as well. Jumanji came out that year. Yeah. But Species, 24th. Not bad for what it is, I think. Yeah, so I just wanted to shoehorn that in.
Fair enough.
Anyway, where were we? We were
we've just had the squirrel attack, and then we get to Syl taking another hostage, essentially.
Yeah.
But this is because she's completely naked, and she's come running from the other guy, the hot tub guy's house, and she jumps into a car with this lady. I don't know if she's just in a random parking lot. I don't think it's too clear just where she is. And you know, she jumps in. She's like, "I need some help," and immediately this woman is, you know, "Oh my God, what's happened?" You know, it'd be radically different if it was a naked guy. If it was, you know, Bruce Banner post Incredible Hulk transformation, like jumps in. It's, "Oh my God, there's a creep! Get out of my car!" But obviously you know, she thinks, "Oh, this poor woman's in trouble," and offers to help her. And then after that, when we next see them, she's got this poor woman tied to the bed, and she's talking about, "Do you ever have nightmares?" And it comes across as being incredibly like serial killer talk. "Do you ever have nightmares?" "I do."
Yeah, well, at the same time, the woman she's captured is tied up in a kind of state of, the fuck is she talking about? Why am I here? This is.
I mean, that would be. I mean, you know, somebody's jumped into your car. We don't know what happened between like that and I mean, we don't know what happened between that and her getting tied to the bed, but presumably there was a struggle at some point. Somebody's tied you to the bed. They've then fallen asleep next to you, and you think, like, "I'm in trouble here. I've been tied up. What's this person gonna do?"
Yeah.
And then when they wake up, the first thing they do is start talking to you about their nightmares. You're like, "Oh, I'm really gonna get it now. I'm really gonna get it now."
The spooky dream. Oh. She wakes up. She slept in her clothes.
Yeah.
So she got into the car naked, but she wakes up dressed.
Well, presumably she got some. She's wearing some of that lady's clothes. She stole some clothes when she got to her house, tied her to the bed, and then like raided her wardrobe.
From this
she takes clothes from everybody she kills. She takes the jacket from Robbie, although she was just in a bra walking around. But
she takes the train conductor's outfit, full outfit with the hat and the fanny pack.
Yep. Randomly buys a wedding dress. I mean, we did kind of skip past that, but yeah, she goes to buy us. She realizes that the train conductor's outfit might be too conspicuous, so she buys a wedding dress.
Massive hat. It's a really big hat.
Just wears it. Wears it out of the shot. Like, and that woman is perfect. Like, doesn't have any issue with like somebody's bought a wedding dress. They've tried it on and they're gonna wear it home, so they're just paying for it.
No, she's got no question. When are you getting married? You know, do you need just alterating? Here's your dress.
No, the only thing she asks is, "Are you foreign?
Are you foreign? Are you a dirty foreigner?"
She must be a foreigner because she's coming and she's wearing a wedding dress. But yeah, so presumably she steals clothes from the woman that she takes hostage, and then she cuts off her thumb.
Yeah,
and then she cuts her own thumb.
Yeah. I was going to say, she has a plan here.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
And even at this point, I'm trying to work out what is her plan, because it's very methodical what she's come up with. And it's kind of a montage coming up with her plan,
we see her cut off. She cuts off her thumb, she cuts off, and she regenerates her own. And then she cuts off the lady's thumb with some same secateurs. And then we see her at the gas station filling up, you know, however many big, you know, multi-gallon jugs it is. I was wondering actually, because as we were watching it, my girlfriend said, she asked, like, as if you can just go and buy a load of petrol like that in containers. And I was like, well, you can. Because, I mean, the last time we
can.
had like a petrol crisis
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
UK, there was footage of people filling up like shopping plastic carrier bags and all sorts
It's
of
fucking
like,
country, I swear.
all sorts of shit. But so while you as long as you pay for it, it's fine. But somebody would presumably ask questions if you were filling up that many.
Catch on to that, yeah.
Big, like what they must be like 8-9 gallon 10-gallon containers easy, and she's got like half a dozen of them.
They're like
Somebody
drum
would.
sizes, you know, like sort of oil drum sizes. But unless she's going to different petrol stations to not be so inconspicuous about it. But...
Maybe, but we don't know. But anyway, yeah, she buys a ton of gasoline, and she's cut off a thumb. And I was like, oh, wait, maybe, yeah. And I kind of cottoned on to the fact that perhaps she's going to try and fake a death and escape, which she does. So she essentially gets herself caught or, located. She heads to the club and she gets spotted. And the chase scene ensues with helicopters and the music that scores that scene is very Predator.
Yep. I wrote about the sound. Yeah.
It's very, very. In fact, it's almost identical to the Predator. Some of the Predator music.
Did you burst out laughing at the end of this chase scene? Because I certainly did.
With the helicopters, what the helicopters do.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So she chases, and it cuts to a shot of inside the car, and she's got this poor woman tied up in the passenger seat. All the gallons of petrol are in the back. And she drives down a hill and slams into like an electricity conductor, which ignites everything, and boom, big fireball explosion. Scylla's jumped out before impact, and then
just to make sure,
just because they feel like they haven't done anything,
just to make sure.
The helicopters unleash a barrage of missiles, and just to explode that burning ball, they attack the fireball of burning metal with rockets.
The nuke had already gone off, but we just want to make sure it's really got. So we just do you know what? That bit of writing felt like a Matt Stone and Trey Parker bit of comical writing that they would have done in South Park, like. Someone would crash their car and then suddenly the army go in and go I got them. Exactly. I got them.
It wouldn't be out of place in something like that. Yeah, it's completely unnecessary.
So dumb. But
it's just like, we've got a bit of money for a couple more explosions in the budget, right? Well, we'll have the choppers fire off a couple of rockets just to seal the deal. So yeah. I thought I'd made a note about that, but chopper chase scene music, very Predator. And then she fakes a death. They talk about how they've found a thumb that matches her DNA in the car, and it cuts to them. They go off to have some drinks and celebrate. Now this is where, for me, the film starts to decline. I think this third act, this final scene of the celebration, and then the final battle goes on a little bit too long and doesn't make a great deal of sense in terms of character decision making. So, in a nutshell, Syl changes her appearance and then goes back to the hotel to have sex with Dr. Octopus and...
Yeah, there's a bit of foreshadowing of her changing her appearance earlier on with the infomercial.
There is, and that's ultimately how our empath knows that she's in the building as well. But the main issue is she's gone to all this trouble to fake her death and escape, and then the first thing she does is go back to the place where the only people that know about her
are there.
Yeah. She could have gone. For me, I bet they could have ended it there. They could have cut to, her being in somewhere, another bar somewhere, make it in New York, make it look like a completely different part of the country or whatever. And have like a little sort of tying off scene that, she's picking up a guy in another bar and things are continuing. And there's your sequel bit, boom, credits.
Yep.
Instead, we get this prolonged like drinking section with the characters having cocktails. We get Michael Madsen going off to have sex with
Oh God, the love
the love interest, because we need some resolution now. And then we have Syl coming back and deciding to knock off Doc Ock next door.
Yep.
Now, when we were watching it, say my girlfriend and I, and we thought like, oh, there are all these other men, but she's decided that Madsen is the one she wants. So we were like, if you look at it like that, it kind of makes sense that like she's decided he's the perfect mate, and she's come back to get him, to get what she wants from him. But she doesn't. She ends up settling for Doc Ock, and the film progresses. But it's just clumsy and awkward and doesn't really make sense. Like, why go to the trouble of faking all your death if you're just going to come back straight away?
I don't know if it's a case of before the crash scene, she has a vision of it's Michael Madsen. I don't know if that's what she wants. She has a vision that he's like the one to impregnate her. It's like in this dream world. So I don't know if that's a way that's tied in, that like she's trying to still complete her goal. It's got to be him.
I think it is. I think it is. But it like she's free now. From the other side of it is she's free now. She's got them off her back. She can go anywhere in the entire world. There's got to be somebody else on an equal footing with Michael Madsen that, you know what I mean? She could just not even leave LA, just go to a different part of LA, because she's not fussy generally.
No, she's not.
You know, it's just all right. There are caveats, and they need to be healthy and all the rest of it, but she doesn't have that set of a profile. She could just go to a different club, go to the club on the next street, and pick somebody. You'll find somebody in there that would probably serve the purpose. And it's odd.
If you did cut it there and say tack on a 5-minute clip of, okay, they're celebrating, but then there's also the cliffhanger of she's somewhere else, she's still alive. You're looking at about an hour 15, hour 16, which not a bad runtime. It would do. This goes on for another half hour.
But that's what I mean. It adds significantly to the runtime, and I was starting to get bored.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole celebration drink scene is a little overlong as well. That could have been cut short. And it just, and then they go into the tunnels, and it all gets very Aliens.
I think we can condense the final part, because basically the whole film she's looking for a man, and she finds it in Alfred Molina, Stephen Arden, because they've had their drinks and he's looking for some tail himself. And because she's changed her appearance, she's still looking very attractive. He takes the chance, goes for it.
Well, she shows up in his room.
That's it. Sorry, you're right. Yes, yes, you're right. She's already there because she's following Michael Madsen, because that's who she wants originally. But his room is next door to Laura's, where Michael Madsen is, and she's trying to earwig into what's going on. And
is it like she's missed it? Like, oh damn.
Yeah. So she takes second best.
Yeah, that's what it is. She gets there and he's already having sex, so it's like, damn it. Right then. So she unfortunately kills the poor maid to get the room key. And he comes in and she's naked, and it's this never happens to me, and they go at it. And
I'm a little bit suspicious how you got into my room. I would. I mean, yes, she's a very attractive lady. At the same time, I mean, she doesn't mean she isn't going to knife me.
No.
Doesn't mean
she does say that she stole the key, but you'd be like, still, what the fuck? Like, this doesn't happen. It's not that this doesn't happen to me very often. This doesn't happen in reality, full stop.
Very often means it's happened before. Okay, very often is very different to this never happened.
Maybe he does say never happens. I'm not sure.
Very often, yeah.
But he's very. He goes along with it. You know, his little brain definitely takes over. He doesn't question it too much.
And he's not barren. We know
No.
that. We know he's not barren because instantly impregnated and instantly starting to produce life inside of her because of how fast the DNA works. Does she kill him instantly? Is it off camera?
It's off camera though, I think.
But yes, that's it because Dan wakes up. Michael Madsen and Laura. They're about to.
Yeah.
I quite like this bit, but at the same time, it's really goofy. They're out in the hallway and they're about to kick the door down, and as soon as he's about to kick the door down, she bursts out the wall next to the door in alien form to escape. So she knows what's about to happen as well, or it's just a coincidence. She's got to get the fuck out of there. Doesn't want to use the door. Uses the wall.
Runs through the wall.
Runs through a lot of walls. A lot of walls, and that's what they find.
And then essentially they're chasing her through the building, aren't they? They head down and further
into
down
the sewers,
into the maintenance tunnels. And there's a guy. There's always a maintenance worker. It's the middle of the night, and there's still a maintenance worker just down there in these tunnels.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a sewer hatch next to the spare toilets, and they go down. It just made me laugh that there's like 3 or 4 pristine toilets there. Like, do hotels need to replace their toilets that often that they have a surplus in bulk in storage?
Well, it was just a pile of them, wasn't it?
It was like 3 or 4, 3 or 4 spare toilets just in case. And they head into the sewers, and there's a lot of flame. It's very Aliens. There's flamethrowers like checking corners, and
they had their kit ready of these flamethrowers down there, right?
No, they pulled them out of the van.
That's what I mean. Their kit, like their van, van, which they have obviously been transporting in, is down there, but they had all their kit, like proper kit, ready for her in that van. And somehow they can get into the main sewer system, which, like you say, it's just like Aliens, specifically. Well,
from the main sewer system into a cave system,
which they state is probably happened from the earthquake. Which earthquake?
Which is full of like oil and dinosaur skeletons. There's dinosaur bones down there, and like there's a big sort of like tyrannosaur skull at some point, or
but they're not that deep.
No, it's literally like hotel basement, sewers, prehistoric caves.
Oil,
full of oil.
Yeah, we don't have to dig that far.
If whoever owns that hotel owns the actual plot of land as well that it's built on, they are insanely rich.
Yeah.
But possibly don't know about it. So we have this like cat and mouse game. They're looking for Syl in this ultimately the cave network. Yeah. We have a birthing scene.
We do,
where she gives birth after what, like 45 minutes of being pregnant. Like this is
it again, where they kind of play fast and loose with how quick the DNA of this specimen, this species, works. It, like sometime back to when she was a kid and transforming into an adult, like why over the time of the introduction of Natasha Henstridge's version of Syl to now has she not gotten any older or transformed anymore? Like they choose when these parts of her evolutions take place.
There was support. I think there was supposed to be a scene. I believe there was supposed to be a scene that would show if she managed, like a sort of computer graphic, if she was to give birth, it'd be like the human race would be extinct within 10 years. And they cut it. But there is a mention. I think it's Alfred Molina's character talks about how quickly or how threatened the original species is if a new predator species comes into the thing. But it perhaps should be pressed more that like her giving birth and the speed at which she can is a big deal. If it was to go unchecked, then we would be wiped out as a species. That is kind of the point, but it's maybe lost a little bit in this just sort of vague, generic kind of action sequence at the end. So we get it's Forrest Whitaker's character, and he finds the child.
The child, yeah, and is just kind of chill with it. Like,
yeah, it doesn't react in the way he's supposed to at all. It's like he assumes it's a human child that just happens to be in the caves, not the offspring of the alien they've been searching for that threatens the existence of the entirety of the human race for the last hour. Yeah. So he gets attacked by it.
I'm glad
he gets the drop on him.
I'm glad he didn't die though. I'm glad Forrest Whitaker's character. We forgot to mention Ben Kingsley's been wiped out in the sewers, by the way, in a very Aliens-esque way.
Forgot about that.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. So we're left with the three musketeers of Laura, Dan, and Michael Madsen.
Yeah,
Preston. There we go.
Preston
or Press, as
Preston Lennox.
But this cave that they're in. Sorry, this set that they're on. Again, it's like the wooded area early on. It's so well lit. They've only got small torches, but it's so well lit. And this is even before they've set the oil on fire. I
mean, it's very quickly on fire. Yeah.
Yeah, but even before that, it's so well lit. That would have been descent levels of pitch black. And I know it's a film; it needs to be lit so you can see, but dim it down a bit. Come on. Just dim it down a little bit.
I mean, dimming it down would help with the fact that the CGI really starts to fall apart in this final scene.
It does.
Particularly because we get shots of Syl, the animatronic, or this person in the suit version of Syl.
Yeah.
When she's giving birth, and a few other shots. Like and at the same time, the next frame, the next cut or whatever, it's the CGI version. And they do not look.
No,
they do not compare well. And the CGI. Whereas we said they do a decent job of hiding it, or
early on.
Early on, they try and sort of do this kind of big reveal, and the technology of the time was not up to spec, really.
Unfortunately, it wasn't. But I do actually really like the design of Syl.
I like that. Yeah, I have nothing wrong with it.
It's a really good design.
It's Geiger. She looks great. It's a good. Almost. She kind of looks a little bit like the Green Goblin.
I did think that.
A little bit.
Yeah. It's got that kind of pointy chin, tall face looking. Yeah.
I'm somewhat of a species myself. But she does. Yeah, she does ultimately look good, but a lot better as the animatronic. Or person in a suit version rather than the CGI, because it's just the product of its time.
Without doubt,
it can't be helped, but it does age it quite significantly and sort of loses out a little bit looking at it through modern eyes. Although I'm not a huge fan of big CGI effects anyway, but
no, I think we both
arguably things look a lot better now than they did in '95. Go on.
I was just about to say, the ending of all of this is so abrupt. Obviously, they discover the offspring. I can't remember what actually do they instantly kill the offspring, or does it fall into the fiery lake?
We see it in human form, and it attacks Forrest Whitaker, and then he sort of like fights it off and falls back. And then it comes bounding out in like full alien form and attacks it. And I think he just sets it on fire and it like falls down. That's how the whole cave ends up being on fire, isn't it? It falls in, sets fire to everything, and then Syl attacks Forrest in revenge, and we end up with this sort of moment where Forrest is hanging off the cliff, Syl's dangling from his back. And then Madsen and Laura at the top trying to get him up. It all happens pretty quickly, but I'm fairly certain that's sort of the sequence of events.
Yeah.
And we've got a Lion King moment. He's dangling.
Yes, and we also get the final one-liner at the end of "Let him go, you motherfucker."
Which I'm sure. As I said, Madsen was really keen to do this film, apparently, because he'd never done action lead role. And I like to think that that line wasn't in the script, but he kind of went, do you mind if I have like...
I've got this great one-liner.
I've got a line.
Oh, it's going to be...
Just before I shoot her, can I do it? Can I have my John McClane moment?
Yeah, it's on the same level.
That's what I mean. Yeah, arguably the John McClane line's a lot better because it doesn't feel anywhere near as forced. But it is that sort of, I'm doing an action film, and by god damn it, I will have my moment of being an action, being an action hero.
The classic moment where the music
like that, I could be an action hero.
With the classic moment, the music builds up, stops. Let her go, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
And pops her in the face, and she explodes.
Yeah, head pops her with a grenade.
Yeah.
Or of some description.
But then the film just ends. It just ends. They walk off and it ends.
It walks off. And then we get the little sequel bit with the rat dragging off the tentacle, and then the mutated rat attacking the other. So we've got like rat. So the next film, by the way that the sequel is set up with the bait scene at the end, the next Species film will be about a horny rat looking to breed with other rats. And a team of Avenger rats will be after. And it's basically the plot of the first book with rats. But I don't think that's what they went for.
You're not being serious, are you?
No.
Hey.
No.
Okay. Look at it up now.
In the slightest. I don't think. I think the plot synopsis for the second one is.
Oh, I've got it here. Oh wow. An astronaut gets infected with alien DNA during a mission on Mars. In a bid to control this, a team of scientists collaborates with re-engineered aliens. They collaborate with Syl.
Oh, it's like Terminator 2.
Exactly.
Bring the villain from the first back to be an aid in the second.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm intrigued.
I mean, I probably will watch it at some point, but
yeah.
I do think the first one is the standout, and then the sequels are all progressively worse.
Wow, there's 4.
Yeah, there are 4. There's also a couple of comics as well, apparently. Dark Horse did a little short run with a male alien human hybrid, and then another publisher, and I don't know if it might have been Dark Horse again, I'm not sure, but then there's another one which follows which has Syl in it again. It's cool. Another series with Syl. I can't say I've ever seen it in the wild, but yeah, there was a couple of comic spin-offs. So yeah, that was Species. Well, that is Species.
I think the thing to take away from this film, mid-90s, men are easy.
Men are easy.
Men are so easy.
I mean, and don't like to be told no. Well.
Do you know what? It's exactly what you said. It's a fun romp. It's a fun. It's not scary. Put it on for a fun. It's a pure Saturday night fun film.
Yeah.
I would always recommend it if you want something. You don't have to you don't have to fully pay attention to it.
You don't.
It's not very in depth. It's not a hard watch. It's just fun.
No, it's yeah. I mean, when was Independence Day? It's got that kind of feel to it.
96.
Yeah, a little bit around the same sort of time. So
yeah,
there's mild peril. Like they try and play it off as it being some big thing, but it's kind of not. And Madsen's running around with a gun most of the time. He's supposed to be this big hotshot CIA guy, and he's not really doing a great deal to prove his credentials. It's a fun romp. Like I said, it does tail off for me a little bit in that final act.
Agreed.
But you practically end the film that bad, and you want to see how it finishes. And it's easy. It's an easy watch. It's an easy, entertaining watch. It's a little bit cheesy in places, a little bit saucy in places.
Saucy.
What a bit saucy. What do you want? Yeah, like I say, I can't really comment on the sequels, but I get the impression that they're gonna be a a steady decline. Ones that you're probably not really gonna need to see.
No,
but yeah,
I think you can stick with one, and that's it. You
Can't fault with one.
No.
Stick it on the list. And like I said, it was a big film for the time.
Yeah, by the looks of it, for sure.
Alexa's telling me something. Sorry, shut up. Nobody asks you, Alexa.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
She Natasha Henstridge, she had quite a little run in the 90s and early 2000s, and I completely forgot he was in one of John Carpenter's worst ever films, Ghosts of Mars. Yeah.
Which I really like.
Oh man,
it's rubbish.
It's atrocious.
But I do like how rubbish it is. It's talking about fun romp. Don't need to think about what's going on in films. John Carpenter's Mars is like a video game. It's It's got some. I mean, Ice Cube's in it, being Ice Cube. It's got some stupid moments. It's got some over the top gore. Yeah, she is in that. Yeah, and I think more recently she's done a lot of. She's still working. She's just done lots of little TV things.
But this seems to be her. I mean, I believe this was her first major motion.
Yeah, I mean, without doing her down, I think it was her first and last. You know,
first
what I mean?
Big one. Yeah.
I don't think she did anything as big. She was in Command & Conquer 3.
You got a lot of big actors and actors in the Command & Conquer series, to be fair. Let's have a look.
But yeah, Species 3. She did the first 3. Although she isn't still in number 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's a character called Eve.
Yeah, Species was her first film. So
yeah.
Outer Limits,
I mean, yes. Species and Ghosts of Mars are probably her biggest films, which, you know.
Whole 9 Yards wasn't bad.
It says a lot.
Whole 9 Yards.
Whole 9 Yards. I'm not seeing anything else that I really recognise.
No. I'd put this as a recommendation. I really would. I think, like we said, good fun romp. Check it out.
What's your rating? What are you rating it?
Out of 10, 6.5.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6. Solid 6.
Yeah.
Worth a watch. Worth your time. You know what I mean?
I give it a C+.
C+.
C+, B-. There we go. C+.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that quite so generous. C+.
C. All right, we'll go with C.
The ending really does let it down, because I really like that first half. It clicks along at a nice pace. It's genuinely like edge of the seat, because they're always right behind her. Yeah. And then that prolonged action sequence at the end is just a bit tedious.
I think that's fair. That's fair. Very fair.
But yeah, it's another one of those. If you're flicking through, the channels, nobody watches TV like this anymore.
No,
I don't know why I keep saying it, but thinking about back in the day when we used to channel surf, it is one of those. Oh, Species is on. Get in. Have I missed the cocoon bit yet? I'll watch this for a while.
I can't pause and go back. I can't go on +1. I've missed it.
We're only watching it for the nudity.
Yeah,
and Michael Madsen being a cheesy action star.
I got to turn the volume down so they don't hear that I'm watching TV.
Your parents are gonna walk in at exactly the wrong bit.
Exactly the wrong bit. Yeah, or the right bit.
But yeah, I'd recommend it. It's fun, especially like I say, it's like when we did Wishmaster.
Yes,
like,
that's exactly it.
It's a lot of fun to go back and look at these 90s films, because they're very of the time, and that time was like our formative years. It's when we were, sort of just
there's a charm
into teenagers and getting into movies and stuff like that. So yeah, it's fun to go back and watch them.
There's a big charm to that era, and no pun intended. I love that sort of TV era of Buffy, Charmed. I guess they're a bit late 90s. These ones, there was the Mortal Kombat TV show, Mortal Kombat Conquest, which ended really badly. Relic Hunter, Xena.
Oh, was that the one with what's she called from Wayne's World? Was that Relic Hunter?
What was her name? There we go. Sydney Fox.
Oh no, that's not who I'm thinking. Tia Carrera.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, Tia Carrera.
Yeah, and Tia Carrera.
Yeah, she a lovely woman. A very lovely woman. Relic Hunter, Xena, like all these of the era had such a charm to them. Very cheesy. I don't know. Do you get more young adult sort of shows nowadays rather than these sort of adventure shows? I'd like to call it adventure sci-fi.
Yeah.
Bit of scare added in now and then, but
yeah, adventure series. I think that's probably a good way of describing them.
Yeah.
And they are very much I don't think they really do stuff like that anymore. I mean, we get things like the Wednesday series and Stranger Things, but they don't have the same vibe. No. They don't have the same feeling. There was a Hercules one. That was the other one.
Kevin Sorbo's piece of shit. Anyways.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, that was there. So yeah, go watch Species, folks. Go enjoy it. I think that was pretty much a big rundown. We've been going for about 3 days now. It's time to get the hell out of here before I melt in this room.
Yeah, fair enough.
Next time is going to be a hype one. It's going to be a hype one because it's our debut of Stephen King with Maximum Overdrive. It's the
Stephen
man
King.
Whose name you'd love to touch.
Nightmare Fuel.
But you mustn't touch. Yes, Maximum Overdrive. So I look forward to that because I've never seen it. So this will be my first impression of it.
Good. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think. Yeah, no, thanks very much. Thanks for being here, guys, sticking with us through Species.
Yep.
Look out for the next episode. Don't forget to like and share. And leave us a comment. Leave us your thoughts. You can always email us at thedreadcastpod@gmail.com as well. If you want to make some recommendations or let us know what you thought about Species or any of the other films we've reviewed or are going to review.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for being there.
Yep. And once again, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, Podbean, and YouTube, all by searching The Dreadcast, and Instagram and Twitter, _Dreadcast. Not doing threads yet because I don't want all my personal data that's every single bit of information about me out there being sold, because Threads is now probably the worst out of all the new social medias. So for now, we're not dealing with Threads, but Twitter and Instagram, go there. The lesser of the evils.
It'll still be around for a while.
Yeah.
Like a decrepit haunted house. We'll carry on haunting Twitter for a while longer.
Yep.
So until next time.
Till next time.
I guess there's only one thing to say. Stay spooky.
Stay spooky. I need to sneeze.